Going.
Ooh, 3, 2, 1. Incredible. Okay. Hello and welcome to another episode of the CAYACast with me, Gina, Kyra, and our special guest for today, Xara. We've actually had Xara on the podcast before. This is a part 2 because it was just too good to leave it at that. We often say we'll do a part 2 with other people, and not that we won't, but we got you back because we have some things to talk about, people. So tell me, since we sat down here, what have you been up to?
A lot. A shit ton.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah, it's been exciting. It's been incredible. First major highlight is working with you guys at KAYA Café, which has been absolutely amazing. So been working on a lot of jeans, quite a few little accessories and chainway pieces, little harnesses and earrings, one I'm wearing today, that are available obviously at your lovely cafe. So that was my first major kind of like feat, I guess, in between this time. And then I have actually been doing some sewing lessons. I've re-picked that back up. I realized my skills were a bit rusty. So just want to touch up here and there. I've been creating some incredible new pieces. Some bikinis lined up for my girls.
So excited.
For summer, and some menswear shirts, which I'm super excited to share, like some reconstructed fabric kind of stuff. Lots of safety pins. It's going to be, pretty fucking epic. So.
Safety pins are like incredible. Just shout out, I have a top that I close with it and I was wearing it one day and like everyone's like, you're putting a lot of faith in that safety pin, but literally nothing will happen. Like it just works perfectly. The same day my pants split and I was like, you want to question the integrity of the safety pin? Let's talk about these pants because like she knew, by the way. Yeah. Kyra was there, didn't tell me my pants split during a meeting.
The thing is, I was just waiting for the appropriate moment to discuss it in brief.
True, like with someone we're gonna be working with, and then I saw her later that night. I was like, "Did you know?" And she was like, "Yeah, but like I thought you knew because you were just so chilled." I was like, "I was so chilled because she knew." Anyway,
so fuck everybody basically. Fuck everybody in the room. I not need you to know that I'm fucking.
Literally, it wasn't just you.
Fuck Gina. Sorry.
It's like
you're never gonna live this shit down.
I was so shocked, like my whole ass was out. Anyway.
It was a show.
Yeah. And for everyone that doesn't know about the KAYA Café, I'm not gonna get into it now. It is like a separate business. It's just down the road, 35 Loeb Street, and we have an amazing selection of artists, local artists and vendors, and Xara's brand, Genderless Drip, is one of those amazing vendors. And we actually have an event coming up next Thursday.
Next Saturday.
Next
Saturday, the 26th of November.
Next Saturday, the 26th of November. We're going to put it in text here. Let's get into that.
So freaking excited about that.
Me too.
Absolutely no idea. So we're gonna have an interactive art show, which is gonna be incredible. I'm so looking forward to it. Some really incredible vibes, really nice lighting. I'm gonna be doing some live painting on a piece, which I'm really excited about. There'll be a piece for everyone to come and contribute to make the evening a bit more special. Obviously incredible drinks, incredible toasties. We're going to be doing some pop-up bedazzlings.
Let's call them bedazzlings.
Yeah, pop-up bedazzlings. I'll have a few flash designs, which I'm so excited to share, and we'll have a little station where anyone can come and get their own piece kind of like done with whatever little flash they want, which is so exciting. And a beautiful little videography piece of art, if I could call it that will be projected.
It's going to be a whole thing.
It's going to be
a whole
so
interactive, immersive, beautiful vibe.
Yes, I love the word immersive. That captures it so beautifully.
I feel that too.
Yeah, it's just going to be incredible. I'm so looking forward to it. I'm just very keen to be in that space, show everyone my art, engage everyone, have a beautiful time, obviously get a bit lit.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
obviously.
enjoy the time, you know.
Yes.
That's how it's just another level of immersion,
Exactly.
you know.
Yeah, and there's going to be incredible vibes when it comes to music. I'm going to curate that playlist.
Amazing.
Which I'm so looking forward to. Yeah. So, and that's going to go along with whatever's going to be projected on the screen, obviously.
Yes.
So that will add to kind of the vibe, and I can't wait for everyone to come and experience and watch.
Me too.
And get involved. Yeah. I think it's all about coming and like getting involved with the art too, not just watching. I mean, it's always lovely to watch, and if that's what you want to do, then absolutely. But to get involved is something.
Some people are watchers. Some people like to get involved.
Exactly.
You know, you do you, boo, and we're here for everyone.
Yes.
So yeah, Saturday the 26th. To summarize, you can bring your own garment.
Yes.
Xara will have an array of flash designs and bedazzlings, and you can spruce up your wardrobe, guys.
Come get it. That's going to be incredible. Yeah.
Amazing.
Is this the first time you're doing something like this?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I remember last time we actually spoke about, I think one day if you had like your own space or something, just that kind of like mix and interconnectedness between like music and like different forms of art and like a place for people to come together. So I'm so excited that we can like bring a little bit of that to this event.
Yeah, I feel like it's incredible how that aligned to become the first step
I know.
of that dream.
I swear we
you know?
speak things into existence on this podcast.
And
I
that's
mean,
on that.
yeah, that's on that.
Manifestation portal.
Manifestation portal. These couches are the manifestation portal. This little setup right here. Yeah. And I know you specifically wanted to speak a little bit about the chainway in your garments and what that means, because that was something we really wanted to touch on last time and just didn't have the time.
Yeah.
So if you want to get into that a little bit.
Yes, 100%. So I'm gonna backtrack like a lot
Do
into
it.
my
Go
history.
for it. I'm gonna have a sip of wine and do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that too.
Anonymous
and then
juice,
get into
although
it.
like anonymous juice.
So, growing up, my race was quite ambiguous, and I could never really explain to people what I was. I grew up in Joburg, and that was around my maternal family, and they're all Indian. So it was kind of, I was raised in an Indian community, but I never really fit into the family because my father was coloured. And it was very apparent. I mean, even my parents getting married was a massive, massive deal. And my family and my mom specifically spoke to me about that pain that she went through, having to fight to marry a coloured man that wasn't as wealthy, especially given the hierarchy of like finance and where you come from and specific groups and Indian subsects that exist in Joburg. And that was quite difficult for me. I experienced quite a lot of really traumatic touch points. I mean, like, this is super personal, but I'm completely willing to share it. But I had a really close family member actually call my dad fucking coloured while my mom was lying on a hospital bed because of a disagreement. And obviously she was non-verbal at the time, and I was 14. Listening to that family member speak to my father like that, and then wondering in myself, like, what does this person that means so much to me, my family, think of me, given that I am half of my father? And it was almost like that Indian-centric side of my family was being so driven into me to kind of conform, especially to their beauty ideals, which is being like fair and super thin, etc., which I wasn't. And then internally I wasn't able to understand what I was, and I wasn't able to accept that I could fit into that family. And so I did a lot of work to reconnect with my paternal history, because I loved hearing stories from my father about my grandfather and his history, like coming down from Cape Town and teaching martial arts, and about our history in District 6 and our family history. And it was only when I visited Cape Town on holiday and I went to the District 6 Museum, like literally by chance, that I ran into a wall that is dedicated to my great-grandfather.
Oh my word.
And there's like a whole section with like a old school like hair machine and everything. They started the first coloured barber
Oh wow.
in South Africa. And my family still works there. My old uncle, he still works there. It's in Woodstock. And that was the first time I really like got to reconnect with that side of myself and feel pride in it. And actually understand the gravity of what that part of my family went through and how much of that was taken away from me, having been brought up in an Indian community. And so I made the moves to go and learn about what my family had been through. I also studied history for 2 years at BITS. And it was my favorite degree, my favorite subject at university. I learned a lot about South African history, and then I kind of put the pieces together that, cool, like I knew my dad was Cape Malay, but I had no idea that this group of people that we always spoke about in history lectures that were brought down from Malaysia and Indonesia by the Dutch East Indian Company are actually my descendants. And then learning about Bokap and about how all those really intellectual Muslims that were opposing the Dutch East Indian Company were brought over here as slaves and moved to Bokap because they were skilled labourers, and how that all transmuted and transformed into what we have today. I found that quite sad, because as soon as I started reclaiming my identity as a Cape Malay, close friends of mine would laugh because they don't know what it is. They don't respect it as an actual identity or community.
And was that in Cape Town or still in Joburg?
Both. I've experienced it in both. More so Joburg.
Yeah.
They don't even know that the Cape Malay people exist.
And it's like a history that's so close.
Exactly.
Just like
Exactly. I mean, essentially, those slaves built Cape Town. They built the infrastructure. They built the start of South Africa. You know. So yeah, it shocked me, and it's really saddened me to experience that. I experienced it till today, and also having to fight to be accepted within the coloured community itself. And experiencing the battle of not being enough to fit into any, you know?
Yeah.
I also feel like most coloured women struggle with the fact that we don't either fit into black or white. And it's just kind of, our community has been neglected and hasn't really been recognised. And I've only been seeing it lately, superficially, in terms of media. But I mean, like, the reason why a lot of coloured communities are infested with gangs and infested with drugs and are going through so much, no one is addressing that. Like, they're just like, okay, don't go to Cape Flats because it's dangerous, and the police won't even go into there. But there's no social movement to change that, which makes us feel even more unseen, you know? And yeah, that's kind of where my inspiration came from, and also visiting the castle and taking that tour and seeing really what the slaves went through, and especially being in a specific dark room where I saw how they were chained and tortured, essentially, made me want to reclaim that for myself in a way. And that's why I love chainwear so much. I think it's a symbol of power and a symbol of being able to protect yourself. And I always felt that. The first time I wore like a big clunky chain, and I was out here in Cape Town by myself, no family, no friends, walking from one area of Woodstock to another to get to my job with my laptop. I always just felt so protected that like I could rip this chain off, and if I need to protect myself, I can. And that power that I got in, I mean, not that I've ever done that, PSA.
Just on the streets.
PSA, I've never done that. But just the safety that comes from having a chain on my body is really what inspired how I work with chains and the designs that I create. A lot of them are very like feminine, obviously now I've kind of branched out, but essentially that's why I started doing chainwear and why Genderless Drip does it. And yeah, that's the narrative that I'm trying to get across in my chainwear, and something super, super, super close to my heart.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that story with us, and like really happy for you that you got to explore that part of your identity, but I totally hear you on how it's still like really difficult, and I think it's also like a really beautiful like symbolic way to look at the chains. Yeah, and how do you feel about, I mean, that's the connection that you like find in the chains and the meaning like you're associated with, but like seeing, I don't know, like white people or I don't know, people that I don't know, I guess don't bear that same connection, like wearing your clothing, with especially with like prominent chainwear.
Yeah. I think it's an interesting question, but to me, I think it's my expression that comes through in the art, and for me, it's my expression, my weight to carry through the art, and them wearing it is essentially, I'm going to celebrate that because you're wearing a piece that I've depicted my pain through, and a piece that is so true and so central to my heart. I think any human being embodying that, as long as they're not racist, I feel super proud that someone would support that art of mine, despite them knowing the backstory of it. That, I mean, it doesn't really matter to me. The fact for me is that I know what the backstory of it is, and I know what the mission of my brand is.
Yeah.
And yeah, I celebrate it. I think, yeah, absolutely everyone should be able to wear my chainwear. I think it would be lovely for people to understand the gravity behind it whilst they're wearing it.
Yeah, and that's why I love, well, like the fact that we are able to do this podcast or do events like we're doing at the cafe, because like as people in the creative industry, especially like at KAYA and KAYA with a K, like we really value the people and the ethics and the meaning and the stories behind brands, and I think that this is just such a beautiful way to get to speak about it and share it with people that may never have known, you know. Like you pour so much of your heart into your work, like it would just be, I don't know, be like really sad, not like, it means so much more knowing, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah,
And
I think like just as a tribute to your ancestors, like you just mentioned, like your huge connection that you do to the soil of Cape Town, which is powerful. Like, so I think even just the ancestral, like putting back there, it's powerful, and it's like something really to be proud of. And
thank you.
yes,
Yeah.
that I mentioned that as well.
Thank you so much, and thank you for honestly giving me the space to be able to say this. There aren't many spaces where you're able to talk so openly and freely about situations and, you know, what inspires your art, and especially when it's something that's important. And yeah, I think that's why I always love working with you guys.
Thanks, Sarah. Yeah, I want to chat a little bit more, bottle cap drop, about the flashes that you're designing for the event.
Yes.
I guess I don't know how much to give away and to not give away.
No, let's go for
But
it.
yeah, especially like where are you drawing inspiration from at the moment? Also as like a working girl with like a corporate-y job, you know, like balancing that with Genderless Drip as well. I think where are you finding your creative inspiration? What's happening?
So I think for me personally, it comes just through being in my element and drawing. But I take a lot of my inspiration from, I love macabre art. I think I mentioned this in my previous podcast. Absolutely love macabre art. There's something about it that really makes me feel. It makes me celebrate mortality a little bit more, and being alive.
Two very different things.
Yeah, right?
I think,
Yes.
Yeah.
But celebrate mortality and to kind of make peace with death. Essentially, is something that I've always like wanted to do since I was little, and I've been becoming more and more comfortable with it. Throughout growing as an artist, and that's also kind of what I express. And yeah, so at the moment, I mean, forever, always, I love insects and I love animals in general. So I draw quite a bit of my inspiration out of them, along with anime. So, I mean, I can definitely give away some. I'm definitely going to be doing some really interesting snake designs.
Ooh.
I love snakes. I want to pet snakes.
My dad is, well, like a almost professional snake catcher.
What?
And he will, so retired pilot, now snake catcher.
I love that for him.
He lives like up the west coast now, and going into summer, my camera, like our WhatsApp camera like thing is just filled with like these pictures of snakes. So like honestly, like anytime, like I've got you a snake plug, man.
Yeah, but my only thing is I'm a bit like hesitant about feeding them the mice. You know, I don't know how that's gonna go down.
You don't need to feed them the mice.
I don't?
Well, so basically, he doesn't have like any snakes. He just, if it's in somebody's house and it's like unsafe, he will like move it to like a.
Okay.
Yeah. So we can work something out.
Yes. Okay, but I love snakes. Love.
I love like art of them. Like I did like quite a big piece in high school, like of myself like with a snake, but like I just. The real thing for me, I don't know, but I don't know, like I love the energy.
I love them. I love them. I took my little brother to a reptile park the other day and he was going crazy over these snakes and I was fangirling more than him. I was like going up to the lady, she's like looking after all these 5-year-olds. I'm like, hey, what's this one called?
Yeah. Leave the kids, just you and me.
You know, like apparently like snakes are literally so close to cats, like in terms of behavior.
I've heard that too.
I'm like, I love me
Like
a cat.
like allocated playtime, allocated eating time, allocated sleeping time, like exactly the same.
How cute, right? And for your body heat. It's cute. It's too cute. But yeah, definitely a lot of snakes, some spider webs. A little bit of a meaning behind that, but I'll probably give it away on the day. I'm trying to think off the top of my head of my sketchbook. Definitely a lot of broken hearts. It's something symbolic to me. I always get one tattooed on my body after I go through like something that's really broken my heart.
Aww.
Just to remind myself that I've been through it before. Do you know what I mean? And then one day when I'm like completely like, you know, I'm Gucci now, I'm gonna get them folded.
That's so cool. That's very cool. Yeah.
So,
what's the count? What are we at?
Three.
Okay. I think that's not too bad.
Yeah. I'm really glad I didn't get the 4th one done. Holy
Okay,
shit,
was it
not worth it?
Okay, not worth it. Yeah.
No. But yeah, trying to think of what else. Maybe a scorpion or two. I'm working on one of those.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm also happy to, if this is released, comment. I'll take her pics.
Definitely. Well, I think we'll release it next week before the event.
Yeah.
We can maybe even push up the timeline. But comment,
And what you want.
flash, or even I guess you're open to doing custom stuff. I mean, Zara's always open to doing custom stuff, like in general.
Yeah.
And then the bikinis, are we just going into summer season? Is that the vibe?
Yes, we're just going into summer season. I'm so excited about them. They're going to be teeny tiny, just the way I like them, but with a bit of spice.
Okay.
So,
Okay, cool. I'm very excited to see those. Yes.
Yeah.
And then, so like at the moment, this is something I've been thinking. So in the cafe, the pieces that we have, I assume are mostly your old clothes that you've upcycled.
So yes, a lot of them are clothes that I've had, but also clothes that I've actually thrifted.
Okay.
So I do look for special curated pieces that I specifically love. There's a pair of Roxy's in there that I want to keep for myself so badly.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? This is gonna just look. It's gonna be elevated. It's gonna look so incredible once I'm done. So yeah, I do a lot of thrifting and finding a lot of research behind the pieces that I decide to use to make sure that they kind of fit into the aesthetic. But I am also very big on, if I have a piece and it's lying there and it's definitely not going to be used, I need to work with the item to figure out what's going to make it look best. With the item, not against it.
Yes.
There's a really cool pair of little shorts in there, and I was struggling with them. Like, I think I painted them black initially, and then I was like, because they were a light wash. I'm not into light washes. And then I looked at like the pattern of it, and I was like, this could turn cowboy. And then I just started like doing a little bit of painting here and there, and then it turned into something else that I'm very, very proud of.
Amazing. I was wondering, because, so like just off the rack, some like more size inclusive items, is that like something when you, so you obviously don't have a very big like just stock, you work like off consignment, and I know like a lot of the pieces you worked on specially so that we could have them in the cafe. Is that like something you're working towards, like having a bigger, I don't know what you call it, just like available, you know, off the rack?
Definitely. So I actually do have different sizes like that are lying there for me to work on.
Yes.
And that's definitely 100% something that my brand was committed to doing. I think, the pieces that I got specifically for KAYA were just for KAYA.
Yes.
And I'd love to kind of add on to that, probably in like the next month. I have a piece that I'm busy working on.
Cool.
But 100%. I think it's not as easy to thrift things as sad as it is. I think that's something that the thrift community honestly needs to address. In finding things that are a bit more inclusive.
That's a shout out to like thrift stores, I guess, when you're like sourcing your like special, especially the like like the special items, like whether it's the brand or like I don't know, like the like level of vintage, you know, because I guess there is like some stuff, but those like more unique items. So do the thing.
Yeah, shout out. But also, when I do release my custom line, which is January, I'll announce it now, in January, December/January. I obviously will have an absolute range of sizes because I'll be making that from scratch, so it won't be a thing of me having to do a source. I will always do that, the custom upcycles.
Yes.
But I'm incredibly excited for my handmade range. Again, all upcycled and dead stock fabrics, so completely sustainable. But that is what I'm most passionate about and what I'm working towards. So I'm really, really excited to drop that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think we'll need to wrap up fairly soon, but you guys were chatting before about Shine.
Yeah, I was actually wanting to know what's going on with that. You mentioned something to me, so let's hear it then.
Yeah, I wanted to mention that, like, aside from my clothing, I know we touched on in the last podcast, me kind of getting more into the event space and into music. And I'm really excited, but I'm going to be kicking off my DJ career with Shine, the event Shine Forever. Super excited. I'm actually going to be DJing. I'm going to be opening up the first set.
Incredible.
At an event soon, so I'm really, really excited for that. And then I have my birthday party coming up, which I'll be, basically working with them on an event for, which I'm super excited for. It's going to be Hello Kitty themed, so it's going to be super cute.
I love that.
And I'm going to be getting a little bit of training and getting back into it, so I'm really excited to kickstart that with confidence and obviously with incredible support from the Shine team, which is something I'm so looking forward to getting more into, especially coming December next year. But yeah.
When you come to the event on the 26th of November, you are having a musically educated playlist while you experience an immersive like art, I don't even know what to call it, just like food for the soul type of event. Come watch Xara do her magic. Like she said, you'll be working on a piece during the event. You can also bring your own items, have a flash done and contribute to a little community piece.
I'm also thinking of doing some live chainway. So that would be super fun.
Yeah, you don't even know. There are things you don't even know that are going to happen there. So just come, great vibes. And I think that's a beautiful place to wrap up. And if you want to have like one last message to the people to end off, this is your moment.
Go forth and be you.
Oh, beautiful. Be you. Honestly, it's really tough out there, even just to be you. It's actually even tougher to be
It's
you.
100%.
Yeah, it's easier to, put on a whatever and just move through life, but try connect to yourself, friends.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. Sending love to everyone. I think everyone's a bit tired. It's the end of the year. Things are emosh. I know on our side it's been hectic, so look after yourself. And see you next week. Bye!
Bye!
Guys, such